Yes, sir. We're back here. NBA Hardwood show on a early Thursday morning here. I got my boy Big T in the house for us today. Big T, what's going on, man? How was your Wednesday night?
Yeah, it was good. Another good night of hoops. Thought the Lakers would hang in a little better than that. Although we talked on the show yesterday, it seemed like a perfect Golden State spot. Typical AD gets wheelchaired out in a game that was still somewhat in the balance when he left. And yeah, I mean, playoffs are great, and we got all 4 3-2 series now. I sent the tweet last night that I mean, all these teams aren't going to lose. Down one or two of these teams are going to come back from down 3-1 or 3-2, and who's it going to be? I guess is the question. You look at the odds. Really, all 4 of them are somewhat balanced. Obviously, the Nuggets and the Heat are the biggest of the favorites just because they're in the best spot. I mean, the Heat are going home. Even the Knicks, though, we talked about them yesterday. Will they show some heart? They showed some heart, and then once you win that game 5, all the pressure goes back to Miami. I don't think the Knicks will win in Miami. Miami's been way better, but the pressure goes back, just like it goes back to the Lakers now, because if you lose 2 in a row and you got to go on the road to avoid blowing a 3-1, that's a lot of pressure. Let's face it. So I think we got some good series. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Denver maybe close things out tonight, but again, Phoenix is tough at home too. And who would mind seeing a weekend of Game 7s? I would love a bunch of Game 7s this weekend. So we will see and dive in. I mean, we got to figure out who we think. Boston's only plus 145. You probably like Boston. I actually, to win 2 in a row, I think Philly at minus 175 is a decent price to only have to win 1 of 2.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am going to like Boston here. I just don't think they're going to shoot as poorly, and I don't think Philly's. I mean, if Philly does that again, where all their guys are just hitting every shot, then it's going to be a tough day again. But I just don't see that.
I love your confidence in Boston. You just, no matter what happens, they suck versus Atlanta, they suck versus Philly, and just no matter what, they still just, it's just shooting. Like if the other team makes shots, that's why they lost. It's a true fan, and I respect it.
So is it a true fan that your team shoots 20% in the first half from 3, and you know that your team is reliant on these open threes that they're just constantly getting? Is that being a true fan watching the game?
No matter what happens and how bad they play, your confidence never shakes.
I mean, I just know that they're better than what they played last time. I seriously, Tony, you think
may
they're
never
not
even
better.
see this Boston team in form again. Like they're about to blow this whole thing up on you.
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now, if they lose this series, especially in Game 6, they will blow.
They kind of blew the finals on us last year too. Like it was the finals, so no one really got on them for it. But
are we killing them for losing the finals to Golden State? Is that like a bad accomplishment? I mean, yes.
I mean, they should have won though. Like we all agreed they had more talent. They were like better. They were in a lead. Everything was in their favor. So yeah, of course it wasn't a let. I mean, they lost in the finals to freaking Golden State, but I don't know. They're just disappointing.
Honestly, though, you're right. I guess you're right.
So much talent for how long's this core been there? 6 years, 7 years, and they just freaking haven't got the job done.
And they're getting the tail end of teams that have been there, like Golden State, and they can't finish them off last year. You're right. That's a good point.
Philly now, like no one's scared of Philly, and it's just
nobody. Nobody is scared of Philly. And Boston. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I got to have some confidence, though. This is the team I rode with from day one. I got to stay on it as my team. But I get what you're saying. You have good points.
Where you at, Holden? Holden's in here chirping. You should be in here freaking hosting then, Holden. You should be in here doing your damn job. You got the links.
Holden cries all the time. Let him cry.
That's what we needed right here to get it. Andrew Martinez. Why are they making fun of AD? Where's our clip at? We need the clip.
We do need a clip. Let me tell you right now, because that clip of them laughing at AD and then so many soft people out there crying about it. I mean, first of all, inside the NBA, that show is gold. If you don't like that show, I don't know what you're doing personally, because that show is amazing. But
Holden, no invite. You don't know where the fucking Discord is with the links? Like, come on, Holden.
Hate to see it, Holden. Hate to see it, buddy. Keep crying in the chat when he knows how to get to the StreamYard link. But anyways, what's wrong with them laughing at him? The dude
I know I was laughing at him.
Wheelchaired out for a concussion. Do you know many people don't get wheelchaired out?
I thought he even had a concussion on top of it.
If he did, he did, but you don't get wheelchaired out. I'm sorry. Have two of your teammates hold you by the arm and walk you back there if you need to. You don't get wheelchaired out.
Facial reactions too are just the best. He legitimately acted like he had a broken leg or something. I don't know what it like. He was distraught.
Either way, though, I've seen plenty of football players get friggin' launched at, dropped, get up somehow, and friggin' waddle their way back to the sideline and then into the locker room. Like, come on, we're not wheelchairing people.
I mean, you got to just make them. They got to be the ones pulling you out. I mean, come on. That dude was not going back in no matter what, though. Like, he was totally done. You would have thought they kidnapped his child.
On to the next one, Tony. He'll play. He's playing next game. He'll be fine.
Unless he's just stupid and like somehow gets in this concussion protocol or something. I could see him doing that, like telling the league, like, I got concussed, I can't play. Like, I could see that.
Well, then he might be the softest person of all time. Unless
he literally did, because if they follow the rules and stuff, like he won't be allowed to play. And like the only way that would have ever happened in the NBA, because they don't want him sitting out, is if he literally like oversells the concussion.
If he's AD though, and he has Holden's holding up his terrible drawing of a what was that holding up?
AD's vagina or the
vagina?
Boston talk too. Drawing. You got the R in drawing?
Who said
that? You hear that, Holden? Is that Boston?
Yeah, he's from Boston. He's from
Massachusetts.
Boston.
Drawing.
Listen, if I don't get a invite, I'm not going to do it. And I just want you to know that we just got 11 extra viewers since I've come on. So that's that.
Went from 0 to 11 just with you?
To the 11 that just came on, we apologize that you had to see Holden's face. I'm sorry.
I got another job to do, but it hurts that you didn't invite me.
Second of all, came on just to say that?
AD, like I said, he's not going to make it through the Nugget series. It's just not going to happen. This is the
Nugget series. The Nugget series, he's got to win this damn series. What do we need?
Aaron Gordon is going to like put his fucking arm in his neck and his head's going to fall off, and then he'll be questionable the rest of the series. And seriously, there is no bigger pussy in sports than Anthony Davis.
He is literally the biggest.
He's bigger. Like, how the fuck do you get wheelchaired off for getting hit in the face? Seriously.
I mean, it was so bad.
What are we doing, AD?
The game was still in the balance, too. Like, it wasn't over.
Seriously, guys, tell me a bigger pussy in sports than AD.
I mean, there's not.
Based on, like, actually being a good star level player. Like, the dude dominated a few of these games, and then that happens.
I mean, when's the last time we saw a dude get wheelchaired out? I'm trying to think in my head. Like, seriously, wheelchaired
Paul Pierce, and then he got wheelchaired back onto the court.
That guy was
I forgot about that. Paul Pierce.
He came back and scored.
Yeah.
He went from breaking his knee or whatever it was, whatever he, happened to.
That was one case where I thought for sure he was done for the rest of the playoffs. And then he's back in there like 5 minutes later.
The Kevin Nash gif is like the perfect Paul Pierce one of all time. It's literally like nothing. It's exactly what it is. Just like the fake ass just throws it off and he's up there and he's ready to go. It's the Kevin Nash gif, but I don't know. AD. So do you think he plays? Yes or no?
I think he does.
Game 6.
I'm definitely not like ultra confident. I think he does though.
If you're Draymond Green, why don't you just go up, smack him in the face, and
he's going to? What do you mean?
And then they're both out of the game. And
he doesn't even have to like act like it's on purpose. Just give him one incidental one.
But seriously, they'll wheelchair him off the freaking court. I've never seen anything like this in any sport. Like baseball players are pussies, but I've never seen anything like this. The guy, how do you get wheelchaired off? Like.
That was what definitely made it worse because I was already laughing at it. I even sent a few tweets before the wheelchair. And then when they said the wheelchair part, that was when I really started laughing.
I mean, if JSU took his elbow and hit me in the face, I would probably be like AD, like all about this. But I would make sure that somebody put their arm around me and carried me to the locker room.
Exactly.
That would never happen for me.
Okay.
I'd be like a UFC guy. Like I might go down, but I'd go down.
Oh.
I'd go down and I'd make them do it for me.
I'm telling you, I've had a couple scared concussions, and you get up if you seriously get concussed.
Was one of them when Holden got in there on you?
Ooh. Holden hit me in the nuts. That didn't concuss me. That just really hurt me.
Who didn't get wheelchaired off? Him. He did not.
I did not. But I can tell you right now, when I got up, I was bleeding from the front and the back of my head, and I was woozy, and I couldn't stand up by myself after like 10 seconds. And someone like grabbed me because I was about to fall backwards. You can get like seriously concussed to where there's no way he got to that point. Like, yeah, maybe his head hurt a little bit. Maybe he was getting a migraine or whatever.
Yeah, he had a
migraine. Like he got hit in a soft spot in his head, whatever. There's no shot at you're wheelchairing dude out for something like that. Just have someone put their arm around him and walk him back to the damn locker room. It's not that hard.
Who's the biggest goon on Golden State besides Draymond? Like, who's the biggest goon?
I mean, Draymond.
I don't think they have another one.
Just get another guy out there. Just beat the fuck out of him.
And Looney and GP are both little grinders. But
yeah, it's tough.
I love how you said GP is a little grinder and Kevon Looney. Like little grinder. I don't know about Looney for little grinder, but he's a grinder. Just I don't know about little.
He's a big grinder.
He's a big boy. So GP definitely little grinder though.
Do you feel a little bit better, Tony, now that like we actually have more proof of AD being a pussy that the Nuggets are going to advance and
we didn't need more proof. Yeah,
we've had a long enough sample about him being a puss.
Tony was a little bit nervous. He's like, I don't know about
my opinion hasn't changed. I already knew he was a puss.
Yeah, seriously, put up Jokic, put up Embiid. These guys play with injuries. They play and then you get AD who just gets tapped on the head, the side of the head, and he's getting wheelchaired out. Like you can't even make this shit up. These guys are playing with serious injuries. And AD can't play with a little love tap to the side of the head.
It makes it tough to play AD too. Like just these other stars just have massive floors. Like we keep saying it with Jokic, but I mean, what's his worst game in the playoffs? Like, let me pull it up.
Who? AD's worst game?
No, AD's is tiny. His worst game. I'm just saying, Jokic. What's Jokic's worst game?
Off the top of my head, he probably had like a 23. 13,
there was one game. There was one game against Minnesota where he had a bad
game. One versus Minnesota, they won by 30.
Yeah,
he had 42. That was he clearly didn't play the fourth quarter, and he had 42. He hasn't had a single other game under 50. So like that's
what I mean from a fantasy perspective. There's nothing like the safety of a Jokic. There's only a few guys like it too.
Like you got Booker. I mean Booker had a bad game last game. Finally,
I mean he's been amazing though. Even his bad. I mean he got 42. It wasn't 41 minutes, but he's been unbelievable. I mean,
yeah.
And massive ceiling for him.
Don't you feel like tonight, though, that the Suns, KD and Booker will just figure out a way to get through it in a close game, and then the Nuggets are going to just blow them out in Game 7? Like, not even close.
I think they might shut it down tonight.
Really?
I think so, too.
I threw this in the Discord. There's this amazing stat just from a betting side, and you guys obviously use the splits and stuff. When we talk about DFS, the home teams are hitting it against the spread at over a 60% clip, like a ridiculous.
I'd be willing to bet like it's like that every year almost. I always use that a ton. I use that more than most people because I say it every day. These damn role players are way better at home. So it's like, yeah, can the stars, like Golden State wins the road game every series because they have stars. Like that, and their role players are champions. But these other teams like Phoenix isn't winning no damn road game with Shamot and Jock Landale and these dudes.
Not unless they get like a 60 burger from Booker or something like that. Like they need something crazy like that, like something like that to happen where you get that outlier performance and stuff. But like you said, I mean, the great teams, they have that one star who can win them that road game, who can just put the team on their back and stuff like that.
Actually,
I don't know. We'll see.
Round two
Nuggets
is sitting
aren't
at a
it, says
70% clip. Round two, ATS home teams, 70% clip. 70%.
My question to Robert would be, who is it then? Who's it?
But
Is it Phoenix?
and then the same thing though, when Yoke plays with Monte Morris and those guys, and Phoenix owns them, then Yoke sucks in the playoffs. Like that's how people's narrative swings. He didn't win with Monte Morris, so he sucked, even though he averaged.
So if he wins with Jamal Murray as the second best player, and then MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown. So if he wins with this team,
all I know is Phoenix was favored going into the series, and the Nuggets are a massive favorite to close this thing. I mean, so Nuggets were an underdog coming into this series. Like, not a big
everyone
underdog,
liked Phoenix coming into the playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like,
you can't just use the results and then just go the other way. Like,
what do you think happens in the Sixers?
Tony, your homerism's showing right now. You were talking about my homerism
for Denver.
Do you think Boston's winning tonight? JSU, Boston's winning tonight. It wouldn't shock me.
I do.
Come on,
I do. Philly's winning.
I don't even think that's a homerism thing. It's just
no.
You don't understand, Holden. This is like Matt Stafford.
You don't understand.
Matt Stafford Thanksgiving levels. Like literally, no matter what happens.
I'm not from Detroit. What do you mean, Matt Stafford?
The same like level of just stubbornness. Like the dude, no matter what happens, he always has a damn excuse, Holden. Like they shot well. This guy got in foul trouble. This dude missed a free throw. The coach is an idiot.
I will still say Matt Stafford was the best play in that Thanksgiving slate, and nothing can change my mind on that. I don't care what you say.
That's my point to this whole thing.
Tom Brady could have thrown 20 touchdowns that day, and Matt Stafford was still the best play on that slate. That's all I'm going to say with the matter.
Boys, you get to watch Jared Goff on Thursday Night Football to start the season. So it's
I really don't understand
do I have to listen to the people on Twitter talk about the NFL schedule for the next 2 weeks?
I mean, first of all,
I guarantee Holden will be.
I definitely will not
Josh
be.
Allen and Aaron Rodgers are going at it on Monday Night Football. Tony can't wait Monday Night Football, baby.
I mean,
come on,
it's May 11th and Holden's jerking off to the football.
I'm not though. I'm the one guy. When I ever did radio, I was like, "This is the dumbest fucking thing to get excited."
It really is the dumbest too.
You already know who they look. See, our own ADAP. Easy W.
That's another guy with homerism. There's literally nothing that could happen to the Chiefs that he would
Who's
not.
Who's the biggest homer here? Who's the biggest homer? Is it AP? AP probably, right? The biggest homer.
JSU's reaching that level with Boston.
Are you kidding me?
He's definitely reaching that level.
No, sir. Are you kidding? You're way bigger of a homer with Denver.
No chance.
Gary with the Braves. Gary with the
Braves is definitely up there.
That's one.
Captain with the Dodgers used to be a big favorite, I will say. He dropped a lot.
AP
recently.
With the Royals mini stack is 2. AP with the Chiefs is 3. And I don't know who's number. You are number 4 with the Celtics.
I think we're
VIP.
going with
VIP is a sneaky contender. VIP literally strokes cock to all Dallas.
Yeah.
Like just all, like literally, he'll argue in any comment that you talk about any Dallas team.
Yeah, but I'm talking about employees.
Oh, Tony with the Bengals. Get him, AP. Let him know, AP.
I'm not even in the top 25. Like,
I love how you just take yourself out of this. Like, I'm not even in the top. Are you kidding me? I'm not a Patriots fan. I've never rooted for the fucking Patriots. You're sitting here telling me you're not even in the top 25. Are you serious right now? I'm the least of a homer of all of you guys at RPS.
No chance.
All of you guys. It's not even close.
No. You put on your butt. You're like in that movie Celtic Pride. You wear your gear for the games. You freaking, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're number 4.
You're going to go kidnap Joel before the game.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I got the new rankings. Gary 1 with the Braves. JSU number 2 with Big T. Then
what
AP.
Big T?
AP with the
how can AP be behind us anyways?
This is ridiculous.
With the Royals mini stack. AP with the
AP with the Chiefs is up higher than the Royals mini stack.
I don't know, man.
Tony, that's it. Text Rubio right now. Tell him we need a poll up from the Run Pure Sports Twitter, not your Twitter, the Run Pure Sports, because your Twitter is very shaded towards Big T on everything. So they'll all vote against me. I want to know the biggest homer at Run Pure Sports.
It's Gary.
List me, No. Me, Tony, AP, put us three on a pedestal. I guarantee I should be
AP.
third.
AP.
I should be third on that list.
AP
I'll
won.
tell you that right
you're
now.
second. Tony's third.
No, Tony is second.
It's the easiest ranking of all time. Like,
No,
I'm not even close to these guys.
Dude, Bengals. Are you kidding? Bengals and Denver? Are you
So I
serious
rooted
right
on
now?
the Bengals for 1 year. Like,
1 year since we've been at RPS. What are you talking about? Bet you don't have one of these, though, buddy.
How'd you
Got a
get
nice
that?
little TJ Hushman Zada on this thing.
How did you even have that right there?
I told you.
Where did
my
it
guy
come
Jeremy
from?
Miles.
Where did it come from right this second, though? Was it just sitting there?
I got a ball signed by Shaq right there, and I have my
I give you a
hat.
ball signed by Big T.
I got a ball signed
Nice
by
one,
the
Dan.
great
Yeah, I'm only giving
Iguodala
him one,
Shaquille
though. He's
O'Neal.
not
We got
getting
one
both.
left.
Yeah, he's only getting one of them.
I'm going to give you one ball, JSU. He said.
Thank you, Caesar.
Do you want to do autographed hats competition? I got my Peyton Manning autographed Pro Bowl hat right here.
I'm just happy you got rid of that signed picture behind you and scooted it down a notch yesterday.
Well, I'm about to leave anyways.
Let's go back up.
I made everybody laugh.
I shouldn't have
doubled our
reminded
audience,
you.
and I gave you 2 great topics. So everybody have a wonderful day. It was wonderful seeing you, JSU, and even you, Crowd and Tony. Have a great day. Peace out.
What is he leaving? Why? What was the point of coming on?
Yeah, he just
because you called me out is why. You're like, hey, where are you? And then
I'm about to call you out again for leaving and then coming. You just ruined like 10 seconds of this show for leaving and coming back in. Like, just ruined it.
How does he just keep coming back now?
I'm gonna leave now. Okay,
I mean,
I don't want you to have the last word. I want you to have the last word.
Holden, this is.
Yeah, now he's talking into the empty. I got rid of him that time.
This is tough scene. This is a real tough scene here. I don't even know what to do right now. Holden's ruining this show.
He jacked all our momentum up.
He fucked it all up. We got to restart. Tony, we got to flip the momentum here.
We got Kevin in the chat. Kevin, like, what are we doing here, Kevin?
Who's Kevin? Who's Kevin?
The only Kevin I know.
K. Fallick?
It's the only Kevin I know.
What's he saying?
He keeps talking about VIP. No one on the shows knows who VIP is. How's he going to win?
That's why I said the poll needs to be me, you, and AP, and I'd be 3 and you'd be 2.
There's literally no chance. Like, you know it, I know it. You're just saying so. Like, there's no chance.
I'm not just saying stuff.
Off to Boston.
You understand that everything I say, I do believe, right? This isn't
It's like what I tell my kids, though. Just because you say it and believe it doesn't make it true. That's the same lesson I give Grayson, because he'll get so mad that he believes it in his head. Like, I watch him hit Emily in the head. He's like, I didn't hit her in the head. I'm like, just because you say you didn't do it doesn't mean it's not true. I watched you do it, Grayson. Same thing with you. No matter what happens
you just
tonight,
compared me to your 7-year-old.
Philly could win by 35 tonight, and you'd be like, man, they shot the ball really well.
If Philly wins this series, I'll definitely admit that I was wrong. But again, you're taking one. I'm still going to harp on this point. You're taking one game.
How am I taking one game? They almost
because you're just focusing on the one game where Boston was the worst they've played in 2 years.
No, I'm not focusing. That's what you're missing. It has nothing to do with the one game. It has to do with the whole playoffs. They've been bad.
What's the gif? I don't believe you. And they sit back on the chair and he smokes a cigarette. Philly hasn't been that great either.
Philly. I bet them game 4 in Philly they were bad. Like, what about that game? I bet them that game.
Was that the OT game? That was the OT game, right?
I mean, they were bad. Yeah, Marcus Smart could have, but they were getting drilled in the first half. Marcus Smart.
I mean, it shouldn't even ended with the Marcus Smart possible 3. They shouldn't have even been in that spot.
Whatever, they lost to them. So that's not one game.
Yeah.
Whatever. Won that game. They made me mad. They owned me.
I'll tell you this. I'll admit this. The series is definitely. I was wrong about the series being as close as it is, obviously. So I'll admit that. I still won't admit that Boston's just going to fold like you are. I mean, What do you want me to do here? You want me to just agree with you on everything? I don't agree with you. I do not
like it when
agree
you
that
don't
Boston's
agree
going
and
to
you're wrong.
fold. I did not agree that Golden State was going to lose yesterday. I know it was the square side. Everyone was saying that stuff, but they didn't. They won, whether it be whatever. I think that series goes, 7 games, but we'll see. I hope the Lakers close them out. I really do, because I do
Lakers
have.
aren't winning Game 7 on the road, so they better win Game 6.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying though, like, if it went 7 games, I wouldn't be shocked. I want them to close it out though. I really do. But yeah, I think the Celtics go 7 games. I hope Lakers don't go 7 games, but they might. Who knows what AD will do? He might fake an injury again and need to be wheeled out for the second time. So, JSU, where's your binky at? I don't know. I haven't had a binky in 28, 29 years. I don't know. Whatever. I had a nice blanket though for a while. Tony, I had a nice blanket. I used to carry it around with me wherever I went.
I still do.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah. I like blankets.
I like blankets. They're comfy. So, Dub KJ. Dub KJ, you're a big Warriors fan too, so you probably don't like our takes on the Warriors either, but you guys won. You guys won yesterday. Good luck with the rest of the series, but you won yesterday. Tony, you want to talk about the slate of games we have today, or do you want to just keep harping on my homerism?
I want to know who you're picking in these 4 series with the prices. So,
all right,
Philly, Boston. Boston's plus 145. You're obviously picking Boston
for the series, Tony.
Yeah, with the prices, the DraftKings prices.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are we taking? So you got Boston. I got Philly. I'm taking Philly minus 175. Denver minus 425 or Phoenix plus 330. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I bet Denver. I'm sticking with Denver
right now, though. But if you had to bet today, though, we're talking just today. I can't
put minus.
So then you would take Phoenix then in this one.
Yeah, but I'm not going to bet either of them because I already have money on.
This is a rhetorical game, Dunkel. You're like being Dunkel right now.
Okay, fine. I would bet the plus 330 because I'm not betting a minus.
I'm still taking the Nuggets at minus 425. So we're opposite the first two. Miami.
I swear he just wants to play this game where we.
No, because we're going to agree on Miami and the Knicks. Miami and the Knicks minus 400 or plus 310.
I'm not betting no minus 400. I'm not betting no minus 400.
The good part is if you bet all 4 dogs, you only got to win 1 to beat me.
Shows my cojones, too. Tony has no betting minus 400.
You're taking the Knicks plus 310?
Oh, God, the Knicks. Oh, where's Joey Work? Joey Work, help me out here. Give me some Nick pride real quick. I need Joey Work to pump me up.
Are we taking the Knicks? We need this on the record. Plus 310?
I can't bow out of both these teams.
No, you got to make a pick. We're placing 1 unit on all 4 of these.
Oh, fine. I'll take the dog again. I'm not betting no minus 400.
Okay. I got the Heat. Okay, I got the Heat. And then Lakers Warriors. Lakers minus 245. Warriors plus 200.
Lakers minus what? 225?
Minus 245 Lakers plus 200 Warriors.
All right, I'll stick with my Lakers here.
Oh, he's filtering 1 favorite in. I'm going to play contrarian and just take all 4 favorites.
He went against. Wait, did you go Golden State there?
No, I'm going Lakers, but I'm going all 4 favorites. The bad part about all 4 favorites is if you lose the Nuggets or Heat, you lose money. And if you lose one of the other ones, you're basically breaking even. So if you bet all 4 favorites, you got to basically go 4-0.
Can I just say that I hate this game? Is that allowed? Can I say that on the record?
You can, yeah.
Okay. I hate this game. All right. It's like you hate K-Phallic ownership game. Yeah. I hate this game.
Well, he always does it. Like, he doesn't do it at 11:15 in the morning, though. He does it like when I'm building baseball teams still. And then he'll just randomly be like, what was TJ Warren owned in the – like, dude, we're doing it. I don't care.
You don't care that he was, 20% owned in single entry and 555.
I care about getting my baseball team in by 7:07 before it locks.
Oh, how'd the Mets do, by the way, yesterday?
They did well. They plugged through.
Well?
I
Did
thought
you
you were
own
messing
Kevin?
with me. I don't think they did anything. There was
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have any offense in any game, so they couldn't have done
No, I
anything.
saw you and Kevin going back and
Yeah.
forth in Discord.
Kevin
So I
probably
didn't
won that
know.
one, I think. He probably did. Let me
Kevin
look.
won. All right.
I
Kevin's
honestly
in the
don't know. I
chat.
know my
Based on
team
these
didn't score
odds,
any
I'm for sure betting the Knicks. Yeah, he didn't own you though. But what are you
He
gonna
owned
do?
me?
All right. No, he owned you. Yeah.
None of my teams scored. I know that. The only team that scored at night was the Royals scored 2, I guess. Yeah, the Mets only scored 2.
It felt like there wasn't that much scoring. I actually
My
didn't
team
play
did
that
it for
slate
sure.
though. So
Hunter
All right.
Green, no, he didn't. I mean, Hunter Green went 5 innings and had 4 strikeouts. He didn't own me.
yeah, K Falk, you said he was the best pitcher on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an owning. My offense didn't score, though, so that part was owning.
How about Lance Lynn? How did he do?
He did not do well either, so I got owned there as well. I took all the L's in baseball last night for sure. My team only scored like 20 points.
I mean, I faded the Yankees on the main slate, so I got back a whopping 0. That's what you do when you fade the 40% offense,
and when they all get 20 fantasy points.
Yeah, you're dead. No, you're dead. And I'll fade the 40% ownership though. 40 is just too high. 40% in baseball is just
I mean, over the course of the
crazy.
year, you're gonna lose
no.
But the days where the chalk does that, it is tilting because you just have no chance.
You're just dead. And then I had Kershaw, but I didn't have him with Rodriguez, and those two both smashed. So it was just, people had that combo, so that's fine. But Tony, you were talking about the price tags on these guys for this slate here for NBA today, and you were telling me you were just like they didn't really change shit from the last slate where we had both these, 2 games. It's like the exact same pricing pretty much. I mean, there's a few guys that maybe got bumped up 100 or down 100, but for the most part, it's very similar to the last slate.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, obviously I don't have the exact pricing right here, but it looks within a couple hundred, almost every single player. And it looks soft. So it makes for a good slate tonight for sure, where, I mean, I'm looking up and down. I guess the starting point is just studs on slates like this because we have clear value because they didn't bump any of the cheap pricing, which we can talk about a bunch of the cheap. There's so many cheapies on this slate that, and the studs, I mean, obviously these series are 3-2 with all the studs going to play all the minutes. So you're just not going to see blow unless like Phoenix blows them out or Boston blows them out, and then they'll rest for game 7 a little. I just don't see it. Like you're gonna get big run tonight, and these studs. I mean, I'm playing Yoke. There's no way I'm not playing Yoke. So if I just throw that in there, I mean, the dude, we talked about it before we came on. Or maybe it was even on the show, but the dude hasn't gone for under 50 since the first game in Minnesota, and that's just a floor. That's like. He's got 75s and 80s and all those ceiling games too. But
is it wild to you that he is almost $2K more expensive than Embiid?
Yeah, it's wild, and it's even more wild that I can't even really consider Embiid over him. I know I'm an Embiid hater. Everyone tells me that, but
I feel like Embiid has like a safe floor, but like
I don't even think he like has that. Like so. The last couple games,
just not there though. I don't like. Where's the ceiling? He's not dropping 70. Like,
and not against Boston. I mean, he played 46 minutes 2 games ago and got 58. So like, he's at Jokic's floor. I don't know. There's no way that I could play him Embiid.
It's funny
unless it was with Jokic. I do think that's a somewhat interesting dynamic. But as we get into the cheap plays, I mean, you have Jock Landale, who. Let me make sure he's still only center. Is he still only center? I can't find him.
Should be. Hold on, I'll tell you.
There he is. Yeah, he's only center. And just that value. And Robert Williams, too. I'm not going to probably play Robert Williams, but his price is one that keeps going down, too, where he's getting down to where it's just you only need 15 minutes from Robert Williams if he gets some blocks and stuff. So I can't really use two centers spend ups, but that will get you different. I mean, people are going to play those cheap guys and just say somehow the games go differently, and like Durant and Booker just don't do what they've been doing. But I just can't see it. They're at home. They're going to play every minute. Like Booker and KD literally might just play all 48 tonight. So I really can't play Embiid. And then Tatum's too cheap. I mean, you look, his floor might be second best behind Jokic, honestly. He did have a terrible game versus Philly that one game, but besides that, 67, 67, 66, 62, 54. And he's going to – I mean, their season's on the line. Dude's playing every minute. So, for me at the top, which is the most important today, I think I'd rank it for sure Jokic 1. And I think Tatum too, just because he's going to play every minute too. And Durant and Booker – they're amazing, but they have to at least share a little bit. I think they share more than like Jalen will steal from Tatum. So all these studs are good, and I would do everything I can like on FanDuel to get 3 of them. But Jokic, Tatum, Booker, Durant, Embiid would be how I'd rank them. And I just can't play Embiid when the center thing. But if I did, it would be 2 centers, obviously.
Yeah, the positions definitely are a big deal. And like, let's be honest, Tony, shooting guard position compared to center is just way different. Like shooting guard is weak compared to center. Center's definitely way better position than shooting guard. So Devin Booker being shooting guard eligible, I think that kind of puts him up there for me. But you think Booker and KD they're the Quentin Grimes and Jalen Brunson of tonight, where they literally play every minute?
I think they do. I mean, when you got guys like this, they're not getting tired. And I've always argued, obviously you can't do it every night or they're going to wear down over the playoffs. But when you get to where your season's on the line, it's stupid to have them sitting out unless they just need a quick breather. And even that, I forget who it was, one of these games, the dude checked out and literally like 40 seconds later was back at he just got a drink and took a quick break and then came back in.
These are superstar athletes. These are freak athletes. They don't need a damn break. Like, they don't. And
I think the centers and stuff, like Embiid and Jokic, I think they need at least a little more of a breather than the guards. But like Devin Booker, there's no way that dude needs a break.
Dude, KD lives for hooping.
Yeah,
he doesn't there's no way he needs a break.
Tatum doesn't need a freaking break. The only guys I think need a break are Jokic and Embiid. And I don't think they need a long break, but I don't think they can play 48 or they'll gas out. Embiid will definitely gas out.
I think LeBron at his age needs a quick break. Like, I think
that's what AP said. That was him last night. I remember it. He checked out, literally got a drink, like stood there for a minute and went right back to the scorer's table.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. He just needed it. I think it's more of like a mental break for him too, right? Just like stop, get a quick swig. Mentally, he's off the court for a second, and then he's right back to the scorer's table. But yeah, I'm with you. I kind of agree with your rankings right there. So for me, Jason Tatum and Booker,
I think before you go into that, just because you can probably talk into this too. Like, I think Ayton might sit tonight. I told that story yesterday on the show where he was fighting with Booker and Durant. Maybe he's dinged up, maybe he's not, but I just think they're fed up with him. And if he somehow gets ruled out, like that opens up. Those other guys are even better plays. So
you're saying the rib contusion is not real.
I know the chat gets sensitive when you make fun of people, but I'm just saying, I think there's a decent chance he sits. Like normally, if there was none of that extra stuff, I would say he's playing for sure. But I think it's at least like 30-40% he sits.
Not our chat, Tony. I think our chat is the least sensitive chat of any chat in any show in DFS. They should be anyways, because you should be able to laugh when a guy gets wheeled out for getting tapped on the side of the head. You know what I mean? You should be able to laugh at that. You should be able to laugh when, Jordan Poole's fumbling the ball, trying to grab it and dive, like falling over, Joel Embiid lunging forward and stuff. Falling down constantly. You should be able to laugh at these guys. It's not a big deal. Like, it shouldn't matter that much. It's ridiculous though. It's more people are laughing because it's ridiculous to get wheeled out for getting love tapped on the side of the head. So that's more what it is. But I agree with you that Ayton, it's definitely more of a rift with the team, right? So when there's a rift with the two stars, and you have DeAndre Ayton, who's like, let's be honest, there's superstars, then there's stars, and there's Ayton after that, right? He's somewhere after that. You don't get to like give this type of, riffraff and then them just be like, okay, it's fine, it's Ayton. You know what I mean? Like, I could see them, I don't know about sitting, but I could see him not playing very much at all in this spot. So
I kind of think it's literally one of those things though, where he either like starts or he just doesn't play. Like,
you think if he starts, he's gonna play? Like,
well, I mean, just how he has been. Like, I think if he starts, it'll be similar. I mean, he's only played what has he played? He's played 31, 27, 25, 33, 30. Like, I mean, I think it'll be similar to that if he plays.
Whenever I think of Ayton now, I just think of that one pass he made to CP back in the other series where he was yelling at him to catch the ball. And literally, like, Ayton wouldn't have been able to catch that ball. He threw it so damn high.
He's
like,
so bad. Like,
he's so bad. But listen, I'm with you. I don't like Ayton. I hope that price tag too, Tony, like if he plays, pulls people in because I still
it will
like
just because the projection. I mean, the projection people will play him if he starts.
Yeah, so I hope he does start for that reason because I won't. I'll go right back to Jock, back at home. I think you made the best point. You called it out in our chat. I think it was the last game where you were telling people don't play Jock. You were really telling people, though, if you fade Jokic for Jock.
That was the stronger point. Yeah, like you can play Jock still in utility.
Correct.
You just can't play him over Yoke.
Yeah, and I agreed with you. I had Yoke and Jock in my core. That was my combo. But you made the case
cheap
also.
Is the thing. Like, even if I don't like him, which I did in that game.
It was still a good call by you. You made the case also that you could easily fade him in this spot, not at home, on the road, and it was a good call. So I just wanted to call that out.
It's the exact opposite tonight, though, because you just have to play him tonight. Like, he's the first guy that should be on your team tonight. Because with the
I'm just trying to show one of the benefits to being a Run Pure Sports member and getting this knowledge in the Discord by one of the best to do it. That's all I was trying to do here. I was just trying to, throw my boy a bone here, show people what they're missing. I'm going to the
Discord today and saying that you have to play Jock Landale tonight. So that'll be the
see. You're going to do the
thing
reverse.
I don't get too is like his ownership on these sites. They literally have it like 30, 25, 30%. Like, I just don't get that. Like, it has to be higher, right?
For a Jock?
Yeah.
I would think it's higher. The only thing that gets me, though, is the center position. Like, what is Robert Williams projecting at? It's got to be.
It's not that much different than.
So that's what I'm saying, though. Could he pull ownership from him?
You got to pull at least some. But, man, I mean, how could you play Robert Williams over Jock? I guess, I mean, they played somewhat similar minutes.
He's just not been effective when he's been out there, Tony, Robert Williams. Like, I thought that's another thing with the Celtics. I thought Robert Williams was going to be one of the keys to their playoff run, and it's kind of been the opposite where he hasn't really been that effective when he's been out there, which is kind of interesting because I thought last year he was really effective when he was out there.
Looking at you, man, going out there. I'm looking at you. I called him Capella Jr.
What'd you say?
I told Mangone Robert Williams is Capella Jr.
Oh, younger Capella?
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's that dude. He doesn't like go up and get the ball at the rim. They're not like lobbing it he's not even Capella, I don't think. Like maybe the defensive side he is a little bit, but I think he's not even like that much offensively. He does nothing offensively. Like I saw one move where he was terrified of Embiid blocking him at the rim. And it was just like, he definitely traveled too. Up faked like 10 times, Tony, and then finally got the layup. And I'm like, that was a clear travel, but whatever. We'll take the layup. But it's just like, dude, you got to dunk that thing. Like you're under the rim. Embiid's on your back. Go up and dunk it and get a foul. And if he blocks you, he blocks you. You can't be afraid. Like that's one thing Joel Embiid does really well. He does meet people at the rim. He's had some really good like defensive blocks and stuff like that where he's making Tatum think twice. How many times did Tatum drive the lane last game, Tony? And then he'd turn his body and throw the ball out when he's at the cup.
Yeah, he's literally at the cup.
So when players are doing that, that's in his head. This is one thing. It's killing Boston. You can't do that. You can't be turning and throwing it back like that. You either have to commit to going in strong, or not leave your feet. Like you can't do that. You can't leave your feet and then turn back and throw the ball back. It's one of the things they got to fix. Someone's got to get in Tatum's head and say, dude, don't worry about getting your shot punched. Get in there and try and draw fouls. Get him out.
If he blocks you, he blocks you.
Yeah, because on the other end, he's trying to get you guys into foul trouble. Like the same thing, put pressure on him, make him block you 10 times or whatever. But you can't leave your feet and then throw it backwards.
Gotta keep attacking. Like, don't even worry about getting blocked because sometimes he's gonna foul you and then you're gonna have him in foul trouble.
And he's Tatum, so he's going to get some calls. Like just like Joel Embiid gets some calls on the other side and James Harden.
Embiid gets more than some calls. That dude gets so many freaking flop calls. I've never seen anything like it.
I still, the one play where he jumped forward, left his feet, didn't get punched over, and they called the foul on the guy in front of him who he lunged into. I was like,
well, there's this huge body too, just lunging into everybody.
I mean, what do you do if someone that size lunges into you? Like, I don't know how you don't foul him, like, at that point. But, center position, I think that's one of the reasons why he might come in a little lower, Tony, is you got Robert Williams there. You got Ayton. You got Embiid and Jokic. People are going to pay for these guys. Embiid's price tag is going to pull people in. Jokic has been dominant. I don't know. I could see it being that low, but I think it should be higher is the point. From the Boston
Embiid
side,
might end up. That's why this slate's so good because Embiid and Jock are gonna steal Jokic's ownership too because of that price. So Jokic might literally come in like 30 to 40% owned on a 2-game slate when the dude gets 75 every game. It's like a gift.
He's been the one dude too. They've slowly bumped. Like he's now 11-5, which he should be, but he was 10-8, 10-9, 10-9.
His numbers are insane.
But he's worth it. He's literally
the
worth.
The last 4 games, he's gone for 72 or more all 4 of them. So then you look at the projection. This is always what I say about projections. Like you look around the industry, and he'll be projected for 63, 62, 64. The dude hasn't gone for less than 73, and he's going to play just as much tonight. Like I don't get it.
And just to be clear, right? Kevin Durant, 51, 64, 66, 44, 54. Right? That's a big difference between Jokic numbers and him. Look at all these stars. Devin Booker's
clearly behind. And those guys have been good. Those guys have crushed. And they're still that far behind.
They're still not next to Jokic. They're still behind him. You still should be putting him way ahead.
That's what blew my mind when after that game they said Booker's been amazing. This was after game 4, not after game 5. They were like, Booker's been amazing, and Jokic still has more points, not fantasy points than Booker. That's just crazy.
Yep. And even you love Tatum, and Tatum's fantasy-wise has been unbelievable. But even hit 62, 66, 54, 21, 67, 67, 42. Like, yes, he's had 60, but they're still not near the 80, 78, 77 that Jokic is putting up nightly. It's insane. I don't know how he's not like
Tatum's going to be like half owned of Embiid too, and I just don't get it. Like at center, Embiid is going to be high. I'm glad you said that, just because his projection's big.
I knew right when I saw the price tag, I knew his projection was going to be decent too. Like, how do people not click him? I know it is. I know it is. Hopefully too, Boston tries to at least slow him down and make everyone else beat him. Like,
yeah.
And you know what's weird?
They will.
Tony?
Boston
when you watched that last game, did you not think, if you didn't look at the fantasy scores, just watch the game, wouldn't you have thought he scored more than 53 fantasy points by the way he was scoring?
He made a lot of big shots too.
That's what I mean, though. By the way he was scoring and blocking
he only had 7 boards and 3 assists, 4 blocks. Like, that's a weak line.
Yeah, it's just weird. So I would have thought he had 60 at least. So, but the studs for me, it's Jokic, Booker, Tatum, Durant, Embiid, Hardin. I don't know. Like, that's how I'd probably rank it if I had to rank those guys right now. I just think the ultimate ceiling, the top ceilings, it's clearly Jokic 1, and then it's clearly Devin Booker 2, in my opinion. I think Tatum's even Tatum's got to be below him. I mean, Tatum hasn't put up 70.
No.
He has to be.
I got Tatum ahead of Book for sure.
You think Tatum has a higher ceiling than Devin Booker?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't think
Tatum
so.
hasn't had a game where he's like
I think Tatum's safer than Devin Booker.
I mean, Tatum's gone 11 for Booker made every shot that one game. Tatum's gone 11 for 27, 9 for 20, 10 for 20. Like, he hasn't had that game yet. I like Tatum.
You think his is higher. So you think it should be flipped between Booker and Tatum.
I mean, I just think Tatum's definitely a better play than Book.
God, he's just been so bad. That's
but fantasy-wise, he hasn't been.
Yeah, that's
and he's going to play every minute, too. I don't know. KD's going to take a lot of usage. KD's going to take more usage than Jalen Brown.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're splitting hairs again anyways.
Yeah.
Like, the studs are the studs. Pick your stud. They're all going to play 40-plus minutes. They're all going to crush. It's just a matter of ceiling and floor. Like, the more important part's this mid-range anyways, as we go through that, where like that's where everyone knows the cheapies. I mean, we'll talk about them in a minute too, but the mid-range is where we're going to separate ourselves.
Correct. Yeah. And like for me, I think James Harden for 900 less is probably, I think they try and slow Embiid down. So I think James Harden would be the guy I'd target if I was playing a Philly stud too, by the way. But like Jamal, Jalen Brown, Tony, just real quick, those two guys, they're right next to each other. I don't know how you play Jalen Brown over Jamal.
I can't play either one of them tonight, honestly. We talked about the studs I love. Jamal's on the road again. He's definitely looked a little different on the road. And people will look at the numbers, and he's been good. 2 of those games, he got 50 and 47. But he just didn't look as good to me in those spots. And people can say whatever they want. It's just a feel. And 8,200 is fine. Like, I'm okay with it if you go a different type of build. But I just want those studs and cheapies. There's really not going to be a build. But I would play him over Jalen for sure. Jalen just has made me sick. He'll probably go off tonight because I'm finally done with him. But we keep talking about it. Like with the floors and ceilings, like don't be just a game log watcher. But in the playoffs, you can use this. I mean, he's got his best game of the series is 41. Every other game's in the 30s. I mean, how can you click that name? How can you do it? You can't unless you're fading Tatum and you think Tatum just has a terrible game or something. You can't play Jalen Brown at that price.
Yeah, we got where is he? Brandon in chat says, imagine fading 9,600 Embiid. I mean, just to be honest, Brandon, I mean he's been this priced at 9,800 last game, 9,700 last time, 9,800 before. I mean, he's gone down 200 in the last 3 games. It's the same thing. He scored 53 and 58. I mean, I don't know. The price tag suckering you in. I think Tatum's a better play, just straight up, just in the same game.
Positions. We keep saying
position.
If you play Embiid, you're almost faded. That's why I said to start the show. Like if I played Embiid, I would for sure play him with Jokic because I think that at least gets you a little different where you can't play the cheap centers, which you're really giving it up. I mean, you need those 2 centers or all the other centers to really suck because like if Jock gets 25 or something, you just aren't going to be able to win.
Yeah, not if they go for like the ceiling games, both those guys. Like, yeah, you're not going to win.
That could win, though, that build. Jokic and Embiid could definitely win. I just wouldn't play him in the same line as I just wouldn't play Embiid over Jokic.
Yep, I agree. So going down into this mid-tier even further, obviously CP, he's still out, right? But you get Tyrese Maxey, MPJ. This is where, like you said, this is where I think you gotta. This is where you're gonna win or lose. We can argue about the studs, but they're all the studs, like you said, and we're splitting some hairs on some of these guys, I think. But MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Maxey, Tobias Harris, DeAndre Ayton, the Boston guys in this mid tier. I mean, Tony, what are you doing with this mid tier specifically?
Yeah, so MPJ, I actually captained him in the showdown the other night because he's been good. Like, same thing, game logs. 41 in Phoenix, 36 in Phoenix. Comes back, has an amazing first half, 36 last game. But the same shit happens with Malone where he was so good in that first half that he only plays 27 minutes. And granted, it was where he probably lost that last run too, so he would have got more in there. He's just been good and he looks dialed in. But I'm always for tiebreakers. I'm always going to use the road game. He's on the road. I'm never playing Ayton. Maxie's at home and Maxie's look great. Tobias, I don't really think I can't really use Tobias. Tobias was amazing last game, and he got 32 fantasy points. So. I mean, he's the perfect filler. If I got to the bottom of if I had to play him, I would, but I'd still rather use these Boston guys than him. I'm never using Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon and Tobias are very similar. They're very good for your team. Great role players. They defend, they rebound, they can shoot when they're open, stuff like that. They don't demand usage. I mean, look at AG. Right after I just said that about Tobias, he played good last game. 31 fantasy points. Like, they just don't give you that type of ceiling. And a lot of these guys don't. Maxie does, though. Maxie 60 and MPJ. Like, both of those guys have ceilings. And we want ceilings on this slate. I mean,
think about Maxie this with Maxie too, Tony. He played his scoring was his fantasy scoring was pretty much the first and the fourth quarter. Like, yeah. he wasn't even really like doing anything in the second and third quarter, but he was just so good in those 2 quarters that got him to that score. Imagine if he played a full game like that. Yeah. I mean, he has to have a massive.
And they're going to need a full game to beat Boston. Like he's going to have to play a good game. These guys are going to have to kill Boston. They're not going to. Boston's not going down without a fight. Like, so they're going to have to play their best game tonight to win. And that means
Maxie had a bunch of like what I would call like momentum killing threes, where like Boston would make the run and they'd get it to like single digits. And then Maxie would just drill a 3. And
honestly,
just like
if I'm Philly, I want him taking that shot. He's the most clutch out of all those dudes for him. So
it was interesting to me, the overtime game. They started towards the end of the game. He was bringing up the ball more than Hardin. It was kind of like something they changed up to get Hardin off the ball a little bit more to try and free him up. But I thought that was a really interesting change they made in, what was that, game 4? I can't remember. It was game 4, I think. But I liked it. I liked the idea of like getting him the ball and letting him go downhill a little bit and then getting it to these other guys to get them like open or better looks and stuff like that. Because like you said, he's got to be like the key. Like if him and Tobias have good games again, Philly probably wins, honestly, if they have really
good
games.
They both play good. I'll be stunned if they lose. I mean, that would have to mean Embiid and Hardin just sucked if those two play good.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, and just to finish the mid, I mean, Brogdon and Smart are great plays still. They're going to play a bunch. They're super cheap. They're not going to be my first guys in or anything, but they're perfect fillers. You're going to always land in this range where you need 1 or 2 of these guys most of the time. So, definitely like them. And then Al, too. Al missed every shot. You called him Reggie. You thought he's Reggie Miller for a minute there. But he just had he's 0 for 7. So, he can easily bounce back. The 2 games, and he needs to bounce back. So, as we talked about the Philly side, this dude has to make those threes to stretch Embiid out a little bit, and I think he can. So he's definitely in play too in that 5,500 range.
Can he just one time? Can he up fake and take 1 dribble and dunk the ball?
Can he just do it for me
one time? Can he just do it for me one time? I swear to God, they'll bite. They'll friggin' bite.
They'll definitely bite because he hasn't done it in.
No, I know that. I'm just, God.
He'll definitely come out of their shoes. So he'll definitely get an easy bucket if it happens.
No, I know. It's just, man, keep him honest. Like, I'm fine with him shooting the threes. It's just when it's just every time he catches it, it's just boom. It's just like get into the flow a little bit. Make them at least fear you a tiny bit doing something else, like anything else. And then you can take all the threes you want. It's the same thing with Smart. This is why Smart is he's adapted his game so much. Old Smart would just jack 3. This new Smart, when you watch him play, he's not just jacking up every 3 when he gets it. He gets open 3 looks all the time. He's putting it on the floor. He's getting and ones. He's getting to the line a little bit. I mean, he had 10 free throw attempts last game. That shows the evolvement of someone like Marcus Smart, who used to be just wanting to jack threes whenever he got the ball. But I agree with you on the Boston guys. They need Malcolm Brogdon and Smart to score.
Brogdon missed some easy shots last game,
yeah.
too. Like,
They need two of those three guys to have good games. I think it's between Al, Smart, and Brogdon. Because Jalen's going to give what Jalen's been given. He's going to give him like 20 points, like real points. And he's going to probably fade in the fourth quarter, like he's been doing for a lot of this series. And that's fine, but Tatum's the key. Tatum's got to obviously make some big shots, but I think this is where the Boston guys, for me, I want to live. I want two of these guys because I think they need two of these guys in this game here to be big. So I'm probably going to make that a rule, honestly. Derek White just hasn't been it in this series. The minutes have been there. Just, man, he just hasn't been there, like, fantasy-wise. And I don't know about you, but 4,900, Malcolm Brogdon's only 300 more. Smart's only 500 more. Horford 600. Like, I'm probably just going to find money to get to those guys over Derek White, personally. The one I'll push back, I do think it's more Tobias and Maxie than the Denver guys. So I'll take them in the mid-range over the two Denver guys, MPJ and Aaron Gordon. MPJ's been really good. I just think maybe this spot in Phoenix, I'll probably have those guys, Maxie and Tobias, over the other Denver guys. But other than that, we're kind of aligned with the the mid-tier and stuff like that. As we go down deeper, you had Bruce Brown, monster game. I mean, probably ceiling game for him in the playoffs for sure. With 35, he had 25 actual points, 7 for 11 from the field. He was awesome last game. Campaigns at 4,700, hasn't really done much with his 30 minutes that he's been kind of getting most of these games here. KCP, Melton has been completely hit or miss. Like, he's the guy who can get you 7, and he can also get you 37 when he gets hot. But
it's tilted from that 37 game. I've been tilted. That was one of the most tilting slates of the whole playoffs for me. That dude was so high owned. I still couldn't believe it when you told me on the show that day that he was that high. And then he went for 37. Luckiest
I told you on the show he was going to be high too.
And then he's been owned. Every day we get questions, and every day I say to fade him. And he got me that one game, but I mean, I'm not playing that dude.
I'm good with it because I'm not playing him either. I just he's too.
The 4Ks stuck. Who can you play in the 4Ks?
I mean, I just said Bruce Brown. You got KCP.
I'm the biggest Bruce Brown fan there are, but man, 4,800 on the road. I'm not paying Bruce Brown at 40.
I think maybe we live in the 3Ks then, Tony, for the cheapies. Maybe we just skip that. I can't even make a case for a 4K, guys, as bad as it is. Like, KCP, I like better at home. Campaign, I'm never playing. I can't do it. Bruce is too expensive. Derek White's I really can't make a case for any 4K guy. So I hope I don't land in there. You almost need one guy. I guess if I had to play one, it would be Bruce not if
Brown.
you go heavy in this mid range.
Yeah.
But if you're going heavy on multiple studs, then you're definitely going to land. Like if you make a build and it's like, I don't know, Embiid, Tatum, and Hardin, you're probably going to be heavy on that range, right? Like you won't be able to be heavy on the mid range. But if you go 2 studs, I think you'll be okay. You won't have too much in that range.
Because I love the 3Ks as you get into the 3Ks. So, yeah, I mean, if that means you just got to go up to one more guy or something, if it's a 2v, if you land in the 4Ks, maybe you go from a 6K to a 7K, 7K to 8K, or whatever the bump up would be.
That's where I always rebuild, right, Tony? When I get into a spot I don't like, and I just say, nope, I'm not doing it, and I just rebuild. Just pretend like the range doesn't exist. Yeah. Like they literally don't exist, and they're out of your pool and build from there.
AD's officially gonna expect it to be available tomorrow for all the people out there that were worried about it.
Shocker. I mean, come on. No way he had a concussion. I'm sorry. Come on.
And even if he did, like the league's not. The only thing I was worried about with him is he's so soft that I could see him just doing something insane, like doing an interview, like, man, that concussion's really bothering my head or something. Like just saying something egregious to where the league had to do.
Unless he's like waking up and like throwing up everywhere and like has like serious symptoms or something, like he's playing. Like, come on.
Even if he did do that, like get out there. Get out there and play.
I mean, He's not doing that though. He's fine.
He's fine. He's not. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But all right, let's bring it into the 3Ks then. Since you said you like this range a little bit, it starts off with Shamet, who's been crushing the last 2 games, been on the winners. PJ Tucker, who I will refuse to keep playing. I cannot click the name. PJ Tucker. Robert Williams, Jock Landale, TJ Warren, Terrence Ross, who was good last game. Daniel House, who in the fourth quarter was friggin' awesome. I mean, the Celtics made him look like he was, just outplaying the whole team, out hustling the team, just doing everything. Got 15 minutes. I don't know if he gets 15 minutes again, but what are we doing here with this range?
Absolutely stunned if that dude comes and gets another 15.
He was great.
He was amazing. I'll get it for sure.
He replaced Jalen McDaniels completely.
Yeah, I mean, McDaniels does suck, so I can't disagree with that.
All right, we got Robert. He likes Warren. What do you think of the Warren, Terrence Ross, Landry Shamet quandary there? What are we doing?
I just think it's super easy. That's why I like these games in Phoenix. Jock for sure is my number one. I hope Ayton starts because if Ayton doesn't start, I hope it doesn't come out early like it did the one time for us with GP where it came out before the early game. Because just say Ayton gets rolled out or something and Jock starts, literally everyone, he'll be 100% owned. Everyone will play him as a starter. So I hope we don't get that, but he's clearly number one. He's played good at home. He just could. I think he could have an even bigger role too. His price is cheap, so he's for sure my number one. And then these Phoenix guys, I just have continued to play and shipped with TJ Warren and Terrence Ross. But Landry Shamet at home, I'm torn by these 3. I am because I feel like I should play Warren. And so I'd rank, first of all, just to clarify, I'd rank them Jock, Warren, Ross, Shamet. That'd be my personal rankings, 1 through 4.
Could you make a rule only 2 of these guys, Tony?
I think 3 of them. I think
3.
You can play 3. Just because Phoenix truly has the 2 studs, and they're just going to throw stuff at the thing for the other 3 spots. So I think 3 of these guys, if they play well, could definitely hit their ceilings in the 3Ks. All 4 of those guys could get 20 plus. No doubt about it. No question about it. They could get 20 plus. Jeff Green can't get 20 plus unless it's just a miracle game. Robert Williams could get 20 plus, but I don't think he will. PJ Tucker could get 20. I don't think he will, though. And then Okogie, I'm never playing. I hope Okogie starts just because live shows DFS Tom said Reggie season. We're not playing Reggie Jackson.
No, he's saying Reggie season because Reggie just
the
real Reggie, Tony, not I
like that Reggie. Dog Reggie better than Reggie Jackson.
That's right. See his head pop up, Tony, right behind me.
Yeah, you see I see that Reg back there.
Yeah.
So Josh Okogie, I hope he starts again so everyone can play him. No way I'm using Okogie. No way I'm using Christian Brown on the road. I can't see myself using Robert Williams just because of how much I like these Phoenix. You could, though. If you're playing 150, you should definitely use some Robert Williams, but not if there's a little. So I guess it comes down to ranking. And Jeff Green. I don't think you really need Jeff Green tonight outside of fillers too. But so I guess the questions for me, because I'm confident in the Phoenix guys, how do you rank the Phoenix? And also guys that I think could splurge that we've seen in the past that no one's going to play. Fat Grant Williams. Boston's in a little bit of a rut here, and I knew you wouldn't like this, but in the past playoffs, which I always this dude's had huge games in must-win spot. I wish I could pull up the game log from Game 7 last year. Dude went for 38 or something crazy.
Didn't he hit 1,000 corner threes?
I just have seen it. I've at least seen it. And PJ Tucker, I'd put in this a little bit less because he's older, but same difference where don't be shocked if Grant Williams or PJ Tucker's on the winner tonight. Just because, Grant Williams just went for 27 3 games ago.
PJ Tucker doesn't want to shoot, Tony.
I know he doesn't, but you just never know when they're just going to leave him open. And say they want to double Embiid tonight like they were doing, and they just say, we're leaving PJ, and we're going to make him shoot the ball, and just say he makes 5 threes or something. Like, all I'm saying is it's 2-game slates, tournaments. No one's playing PJ Tucker. I'm probably not playing him. On my main team, I'm not playing PJ Tucker. Let's be clear. I'm playing the Phoenix guy. But if I'm playing 20 or 150 like I have, I just think you're doing it wrong if you full fade guys like Grant Williams and PJ Tucker, because they at least have that ceiling shown before at these prices. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Again, not a main team play, but definitely I think you should mix them in there.
For like 150, you're saying?
Even 20, like 20,
Okay.
I think you should play a couple of these guys, 2, 3, 4 of these dudes in there. Like, so like 20%, be double the field. I mean, both these guys are going to be 10% or less. So play 20% of these guys in your script.
The more I think about it, and me and you differ on the cheapies a lot. This is one thing that we definitely disagree on a good amount. Is I don't know if I want to play 3 of these guys. I think it hurts my like mid-tier build though. If I like because the mid-tier could like all those guys in the mid-tier could double them up. If they get 20, they could just double them up. Like easily, Maxie could get 45 again. He could. Like he could easily do it. Tobias could get 35. Al Horford could get 35. Marcus Smart. Like, so my issue with playing multiple of these guys, I think it like kind of caps you a little bit. So I probably want to stick to 2 of these 3K guys, first of all, as a rule. I don't think I can play PJ Tucker. I get what Tony's saying. They probably will double Embiid too, a little bit more. And I wouldn't be shocked if that meant he took a few more threes. It just worries me though when a guy openly admits that the team is better and winning when he's not shooting. Like that is when you say that, it's just like, okay, but he said it like, hey, listen, we're winning, and when I don't shoot, we win. Like that's just weird to say, like hear someone say and play so much, but I just can't play it. The Grant Williams thing, I could see them trying to put Grant Williams on Embiid a little bit and then doubling and just mixing it up. And if they did that, it's going to hurt either Derek White or Robert Williams if they do that. So I could see that happening there where they changed it up a little bit. They tried it early in the series. They've kind of slowly went away from it. Also, Grant Williams picked up quick fouls when he went in there the last couple games. I think it was where it didn't work and it was clear and they just went away from it after that point. But yeah, I mean, I could get on board more with him.
Cheapies though, like, so this is where, so say I want to play Jokic and Tatum.
Yep.
Like, because I do. I want to, it's just, if you want to play Jokic and Tatum, like, how are you not playing 3K guys? How are you not, you're just not playing anyone else above 6K with them?
So I haven't built, but let's just say
I put in even like Hardin, like in the 8Ks is my third guy. Hardin, Jamal, Jalen is my third guy. You're down to where you're going to have to use 3 or 4 of the 3K guys, unless you just go all mid-range after the 2 studs.
Well, the problem with this is you're kind of right. Like if I play Hardin, you're wrong. I think I could make it work in the. Hold on, let me just.
It's impossible unless you like someone in that 4K range, which we don't.
Which we don't though. Yeah, I mean you're kind of right. I get stuck in that 4K range.
Yeah.
No matter what, if I play Jokic is actually the key.
And that's why people aren't going to play Jokic. You just said why they're not going to play. I mean, by not playing, I mean he's going to be 35%. But that's edge to me. Where just say Jokic gets 75, Tatum gets 70, Hardin gets 60 or something. There's just no way that's not the winning build. And I think that's what happens. Those mid-range guys are good, Smart and these guys, but can they really get you like high 40s or something? Like if they get high 30s, I don't know. It's the same.
I mean, could they? Maybe. Will they?
Mid-tier is better when these studs aren't guaranteed to get 45 plus minutes.
Yeah, that's a good. Okay, so maybe I have to amend my statement because you might have to actually play 3K guys. Tony's
Unless you
right.
just like, so what is the opposite of that? Like,
The
say,
only
just say
thing
you
would be
love.
taking Yoke out because I've
So
done.
just do,
I just
let's
tried
look
to
at
do
just
it.
mid tier real quick. So mid tier, like just say you start with Hardin, and then you plug in a Maxie, and then at small forward you got a Tobias. Power forward, you could even spring just mid range. You could play Horford. Center, you even just say you played Embiid because he's underpriced. You're still at like 5K. Guard, you could play Marcus Smart or Brogdon. Forward, you have to punt. So you only got to punt one spot going with a route like that, and that's got even like a hard. So I think that'll be chalkier than play. Like no one's going to play Yoke and Tatum really that much, I don't think. And those are my two favorites.
I hope
Save
this
Yoke
is
for
why.
Game 7.
I hope this is why they don't play Yoke. I hope
That price is going to be why. You called it right away to start the show. I mean, he's 2K more than Embiid. People aren't going to do it. They don't want to play these 3K guys.
And besides
Jamal
that point, they don't want to play him. And Jokic has literally been the best player fantasy-wise by a mile. Yeah, literally by a mile.
What's a massive ceiling for Jamal, Randy? Like
60?
This is always. I mean, I just don't think he can get 60.
But what's his ceiling though? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, we've seen him score 50 real life points. So I mean, he definitely could get 60. But I don't know.
I'm with you though. I don't think it's. Dude, Jokic is just scoring at a high clip now. Like Jokic is the one that's doing it. That has to hurt Murray. And MPJ's been really good. All this stuff definitely hurts Murray a little bit because Murray's getting there with points, right? It's kind of like D Book, but like not as high as D Book. Yeah. But it's the same idea, right? They're getting there with points. Like if you love D Book tonight, fantasy wise, like you probably love his points prop over. Like you probably love him to score 40. You know what I mean? Bet him to score 40 points. See what that is? I don't know what it is, but like bet him to score 40 and Phoenix to win or something like that.
Probably not even that crazy odds, honestly.
Honestly, it probably isn't. I don't know what it is, but to my point of if you like him in DFS, right? You're probably going to like that spot. Jokic, though, if you like him in DFS, we've seen it where he drops fucking 40 real points, 45, and he doesn't have a triple-double. And then we've seen it the opposite way where he's dropping 30, but he has a triple-double. So, like, he has so many ways to get there. It's just insane to me, whereas some of these other guys, they need to score. Right, Tony? They have to. Yep. And that's the difference in the fantasy scoring where guys have multiple paths to get there. That is Jokic. That's why he's the highest priced on the slate. That's why he's had these massive ceiling games and he's so ahead of everyone else.
How are we going to get him low over this? Like, the playoffs are just the best. He's going to maybe we're just wrong. Maybe it's not that way, but it sure seems like we're going to get him like 30% owned tonight.
I don't think we're wrong, Tony. I think we're right here. So
no matter what I do tonight, even if I didn't want to play the cheapies, I would play Yoke and no other studs and go all mid-range with him or something. Like there's just no way I'm fading Yoke. Like his worst games are in the 70s right now.
Yeah, I can't fade Yoke either. So I'm with you. But anything else here? I mean, I think we picked apart this slate pretty good. Spent like an hour and a half doing it and talking some stuff. But if you guys like the video, you want to hit the like button, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more of the free videos that we do. If you want to be a member over at Rumpier Sports, you're getting a Big T player pool for almost every friggin' sport there is. But Big T, you'll have a player pool for NBA tonight, right? Tell them what that entails real quick.
Yeah, so every day through the playoffs, putting my full player pool up in order of how much I like them to. Which 2-game slate, it doesn't get that creative, let's be honest, but it's still the order of which I like the players. So you can always go through and kind of see how much I like a guy at each position. Plus the core from each site, we only leave 3 spots open, so you'll know who I'm on by looking at the player pool. And who knows what info we'll get throughout the day. We could have a surprise start. This happens every time we do a long show, do all this shit. And then in the afternoon, they'll announce that Terrence Ross is starting or something to throw us off and make things. It happens every and someone will crush tonight that we didn't even talk about, even though we did an hour and a half show. I don't know how it happens, but it happens every freaking time. So you'll be able to see all that, and we have all the showdown stuff up there too, especially once we get to next week, all 1-game slates. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, I mean, all the content up there. Rubio's been crushing the showdown playbook too. What, you got a freaking vacuum going? What is that?
No, they're here for my yard, so they're friggin'
Oh, the yard. I mean, that's the good life right there. They're here for my yard.
They're getting my yard done. I got professionals. I got a team of professionals out there taking care of my front and backyard. So you got to do it. You got to get that done.
A week. How much you pay for that?
It's enough to remulch. They do the whole shebang though, and they come every week. Good stuff. So yeah, it does cost, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
That's what happens, people. When you're rich and famous, you get them to come out and mulch for you.
Come out and mulch for me. Hey, I've done the mulching. I've done all the remulching.
Yeah,
I've done all that stuff.
I've done it too, and I'm not doing it no more.
It's not fun. Oh, see, when you get to be like Big T, you have that type of money where you can do it. So I try and be like Big T a little bit. But if you guys want more of this content, Tony, you want to give like one play that you're definitely playing besides Jokic, since that's obvious here?
I can't see myself not playing Jock and Jokic for sure. I mean, I can. Let me see and that'll for sure be my favorite too. Who else do I know for sure I'm going to play? Let me look real quick. My builds. I know for sure those two. Yeah, that's my two. I mean, I'm for sure playing those two. And I'm for sure playing one more cheap Phoenix too, whether it's Shamot or Warren or Ross. I want to wait and see the Ayton news for sure, because if Ayton is out, these guys are even better. Say Ayton is out tonight, I just don't know how you're not using 3 of those cheapies at home. I might even set a rule to have to play 3 of those cheapies is how much, because we like the studs. I just don't, with Ayton out, if he was out, I just don't see how 3 of these guys don't get there.
The more you talked about it, the more it makes sense too about playing three guys. So I'm with you there. The one guy from the mid-tier I want to play is Marcus Smart, because I feel like in big games
you
he just
love
always
Marcus Smart. I would have bet money
him.
that.
I love
you
him.
love Marcus Smart.
I just love the way he plays. He plays with heart and passion. He cares, man. I want guys that care and they're prideful and they at least attempt it, right, Tony? He attempts to go out there and give it everything.
When you get that DK report at the end of the year that shows there's no way Marcus Smart's not your number one guy.
In the playoffs,
love Marcus Smart.
In the playoffs, maybe he is, Tony. Not in the regular season, though. Yeah, Boston's my least played team in the regular season.
Yeah,
you just can't play them when they're all healthy in the regular season. That's different. But playoffs, for sure, I've played them a lot. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys want more of this, you can sign up, Run Pure Sports. Use the code BIGT15. Get you 15% off your first month's payment. That'll do it for us. We'll see you guys in the Discord over at Run Pure Sports. For me, JSU, and Big T. Thanks for watching. We're out. Peace.